Episode 15, The Deep Dive. Previously on the cracked plate, Jimmy and Mia took their first steps toward living their new truths, embracing the rewritten beliefs that challenged their old narratives. However, as they began to apply these changes in their lives, they faced moments of discomfort that threatened to pull them back into familiar patterns. At the workshop, Jimmy sat in the circle, Olivia's voice breaking through the tension in the room. Today, we're diving deeper into why we find ourselves stuck in old patterns, even after we've done the work to change, Olivia began, gesturing to the whiteboard. This isn't just about willpower, it's about how your brain is wired. Jimmy leaned forward, his interest piqued. Olivia drew a diagram of a brain with neural pathways branching like roads. Every time you react to a trigger in the same way, Olivia explained, you're strengthening a pathway in your brain. It's like walking the same path in a forest over and over. It becomes easier to follow, even if it doesn't lead where you want to go. Jimmy nodded, his mind flashing to his automatic reaction to Mia's hesitation, a defense mechanism he couldn't seem to shake. Across town, Mia sat at the dining table, her notebook open in front of her. Jenna held up a printout of a brain diagram Olivia had shared at her own workshop months earlier. Triggers feel so immediate because they're tied to pathways in your brain, Jenna said, pointing to the diagram. When something reminds you of a past pain, your brain lights up like it's happening all over again. Mia frowned. So that's why it feels like I'm back in those moments with my mom, when I feel small, unheard, or unimportant. Exactly, Jenna said. Your defense mechanism, pulling back, retreating, isn't just a choice. It's a habit, reinforced by years of reacting the same way. Mia stared at the diagram, the concept clicking into place. So, if these habits are wired in, how do I change them? Back at the workshop, Olivia continued, her tone encouraging. The good news is, your brain is capable of rewiring itself. This is called neuroplasticity, but it requires intentional effort, choosing new responses, even when the old ones feel easier. She handed the group a worksheet titled Breaking the Cycle, Steps to Rewire Your Brain. The steps included 1. Pause. Identify the trigger in the moment. 2. Reflect. Name the belief or fear driving your reaction. 3. Choose. Select a new response even if it feels uncomfortable. 4. Practice. Repeat the new response consistently to create a new neural pathway. Jimmy scribbled the steps into his notebook, a sense of hope mingling with the challenge of the work ahead. That evening, Mia revisited a recent interaction with Jimmy. She'd felt the urge to cancel their meeting and retreat, but now, armed with her new understanding, she asked herself, what am I really afraid of? She wrote in her journal, trigger, planning to meet with Jimmy. Reaction, avoidance, belief, I'll lose myself again if I get too close. New response, show up anyway, but set boundaries. Mia closed her journal, feeling a tentative sense of control over the narrative she'd been rewriting, while Jimmy sat on his couch, staring at Olivia's worksheet. He wrote at the top, triggers are not truths. I can choose differently. Across town, Mia reread her journal entry, her pen hovering over the last line. She added, it's not easy, but it's possible. Both felt the weight of their old patterns, but for the first time, they also felt the pull of possibility, a glimmer of hope that the forest paths in their minds could lead somewhere new. As Jimmy and Mia begin the challenging process of rewiring their minds, they encounter moments where their progress is tested. Can they stay consistent in building new habits, or will the pull of the old pathways prove too strong? Tune in to The Crack Plate, Episode 16, Rewiring the Path.